Y'all ever heard of enemy of the state? Like the idea like claimants are adverse possessors of the adverse possessants of state property or some shit like that?
Did you say adverse possession?
Yeah, well, the idea of enemy of the state, right? And then the idea of like anyone who anyone who who's making claims, if you will, is adversely possessing from the state. So it's kind of like.
Well, and I agree with that. That's one way to look at it. If I'm claiming something, I'm claiming what belongs to God as mine, is where I see it. And that's my problem. I'm claiming what God created for all of us, from my perspective, to share. When I claim something, ownership of something that God gave for all of us to use, then I'm claiming it from you folks. This is why I believe humanity's in the trouble it's in. Like, everyone's claiming private ownership of this and that and the other thing. That's the whole problem with making claims. I get that. But I don't look at it what the law says. I'm looking at it, if I'm claiming ownership, I'm lying to the Father. I'm a sinner before my Father, because from my knowingness, it all belongs to God. So who am I to claim ownership of what belongs to Him? That's the claim I shouldn't be making. I don't give a shit about what man says. There's not a man, no man on this planet. I mean, I get people to claim stuff, but it's all bogus. It's even bogus that the government owns it. Things are held. The one thing that the people could more or less is our property, if you will, is our labor. What we do with it to that extent, but even that comes from God. Again, I get the body is a tool through which the soul creates and experiences, but I don't need a birth certificate to do that, to create an experience. But no, so my adverse possession or claims would be me sinning or lying before God, not man. Again, it depends where our minds are at, I guess.
Nice. It's almost like which game you want to play.
That's exactly it. See, we can play the game of Monopoly and say I'm just using this token, but as long as we're using the token, we're bound to the rules of the game.
Nice.
You know, and I'm not saying I've done it all, but I've sent a lot of documentation off in my way where, not making any claims whatsoever and blah, 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 and just using this and that and the other thing. And if I get a response, it's not the response I was figuring on. If I get a response, and most times I don't even get a response. The one thing I haven't done yet is return the birth certificate to redeem it for my birthright. And again, I'm going back to what happened with the Office of the Registrar General with that guy there. I shared what I sent the letter off back in October, and all calls stopped. It was made very clear in that letter, I own nothing. I'm not a beneficiary of anything from government or any legal system whatsoever. And all third-party calls stopped.
Would redeeming something that's deemed be lying?
Redeeming is to like purchase something back. Now let me tell you this. This is something I haven't said yet. A fella, if he's on the internet, and maybe it's not true, but I believe it to be true because we had a very similar but not exactly the same perspective. He was at the Office of the Registrar General, and he was pointing out to them banknote company. It says right on his birth certificate issued before mine says bank note. It doesn't say banknote company, it says bank note. So he asked the lady behind the counter at the Office of the Registrar General, can I redeem this? She says yes, but not for money. So what does that leave but liberty? It's our divine, and that's where our birthright is, I believe. Yes, you can redeem it, but not for money. Earlier this year, I was thinking this is some kind of redeem thing, so I sent it to the Office of the Minister of Finance to redeem it. Clearly, that was for money. So my heart was in the wrong place. But this lady behind the counter says, yes, you can redeem it, but not for money. So I believe that our birthright is held up there. It's all in escrow, whatever you want to call it, put word you want to put to it. It's being held in abeyance until we do something, until I do something. And I believe that's, you can put whatever words you want it, but redeem is to buy back, but it doesn't necessarily mean with money. You can perform services to get your freedom, which has nothing to do with money. So redeeming is, look it up.
Could it be by giving them the birth certificate, they zero the account, so it was there for you to use?
But he has, but by the act but he has to be willing to surrender it to redeem it first or give it up first in order for that to result. Sure, I can see that. And then they come back. Okay, you've redeemed it for your liberty. Now we're going to give you the birth certificate so you can use it and we'll pay the bills. Absolutely.
Well, the thing of it is, are there any bills or is everything paid for?
Well,
let me finish.
Sorry. To settle. I meant settle, not bills. To settle stuff, yes.
But the thing of it is, if there's no claimants, they can zero the account. But the reason for the bank is to give people the choice. People want to claim their own stuff, they can claim it, but that's why there's an account and they got a negative or positive balance where they're keeping track of it. Whereas if one is just using it, the account is zeroed and it's there for them to use at will.
Right, but how do you get to that point? You got to do something with it, right? Faith without works is dead. So saying I want to do this is not the same as actually doing it. Saying I would like to apologize is not apologizing. So I guess what I'm saying is perhaps the act of expressing the willingness to redeem it, whatever the word is, I'm using the word redeem, in my understanding of it. When you do that, there's the faith. Then they turn around and say, yes, okay, we got your point. Yes, but take the birth certificate back. You use it, and all the accounts will be settled, whatever terms you want to put to it, like what you're talking about there, to achieve what you're talking about.
And could the thing keeping people from doing that could be because they sit around claiming too many things?
Like I said, the act. This is what I said. If I give up all government documentation, including the birth certificate, what evidence do I have to claim anything? Now, I can't open up a bank account. If I don't have a social insurance number, I can't even get a job.
I think he means in the manner, in the conduct. Like, how, the phrase, only a child will enter the kingdom and all that.
Larry, let me finish here on point, if I can. The thing of it is, when you're showing the intent that, hey, would this help settle the matter? How can we use this so everybody benefits? When they get that from, instead of claiming in here, I want to redeem this for my birthright. Could that be the simple difference between using it and what's there to redeem unless one's claiming one has a right to something? I mean, I don't know if that helps you at all.
The answer to your question is absolutely. It could be correct. I've tried it, it never worked, but maybe I didn't put the right words to the paper.
Or to the ones you're talking with. I'd rather talk with an agent.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. The paper, it's like all hearsay. Yes, me. Somebody might hear it and see it or not, but I'd say when you go before a so-called government agent or one who answers to the position and show them the intent, maybe that's all it's going to take for them to see the difference,
Maybe. Somebody said earlier that the whole world's a stage, we're all actors on it. That's not necessarily true. I don't think we have to be actors on it, but...
How about performers?
Well, same thing as far as... Fair enough. Okay, so the whole world's a stage, we're all performers on it. Question is, who are you performing for? And my point being here is that if I am in possession of something that was issued under the authority of an act, I am a part of that act. Acts require actors, and actors wear masks.
Yeah, but could you be...
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Right, but could you be acting or performing, trying to prove what you claim to know is true and correct?
I won't know till I try it, now will I?
Yeah, there you go, brother. I hear that one.
But you guys have been doing it this whole time. You realize?
One thing I haven't done, and every now and again I get this little feeling that I got to redeem the birth certificate. It's not that I'm redeeming the birth certificate; I'm actually redeeming my birthright. I'm taking back what I lost when I made myself out to be a person. I stepped into a world. As soon as I stepped into the world of being a person, I did it. I'm talking for myself here now, nobody else. Yes, I signed on as a driver's license. Yes, I appeared as Victor Beck. I represented Victor Beck. I gave life to the dead. I did all of those things. Yes, absolutely. But it couldn't have happened if I had not first had the birth certificate. So I'm saying, well, hey, maybe there's some sense to this.
Could it be as simple as first starting to forgive yourself for what you believe that you did was wrong?
Oh, I've done that.
Oh, cool. And now?
I don't have any guilt. I'm just accepting accepting responsibility for my acts. My will be done. It says in the Bible, the will of the Father be done, but yet all those things are evidence of my will.
Right.
Where's the Father in that?
And now, if you truly forgive yourself, then now you can start forgiving others. Because, listen to you, I could be wrong on this perspective, but if I may, you lead me to believe you're upset with a lot of people that you believe misled you.
I didn't say that. I said I did it. I said I did it. I don't blame anybody for anything. I don't hold grudges. I don't have any anger to people. If forgiveness frees me, not them. So I'm all over the forgiveness thing. I've been over that for years. It's like, so if I'm coming across that way, it's a misinterpretation on your part because of the way I'm speaking. So it's my fault if you're interpreting it that way. But absolutely, forgiveness is key. So I don't hold grudges. I don't point fingers at anybody. I don't blame people. We were involved in a court thing 4 years ago, and you know what got us released? We did what we did, and we said, we make no excuse and we accept full responsibility. Boom, that was the end of that. We got out. And everybody was smiling. See, I wasn't blaming them for what we had initiated. So I'm aware of that. So I accept responsibility. I did it. Nobody made me do it. It's nobody's fault. It's not a blame thing. I did it to myself. And so I have to get myself out of whatever I got myself into. That's all I'm saying. So and all I'm suggesting is perhaps, truth is, I don't know the truth yet. I haven't done it. And if I did it, we probably wouldn't be on this call, but we have better things to do. But I think that's the possibility that we can redeem that birth certificate back for a birthright, because I did use the birth certificate and I did bind myself to other acts. I did use it to apply for driver's license, which is issued under the authority of an act. So now the Highway Traffic Act, part of the movie set, applies to me. Social insurance card, all of those things, health card, all of those things are all part of an act. They're all issued under the authority of an act. And I've been performing as the person. I've been appearing as the person. I've done those things. I did it. Stupidly, ignorance, doesn't matter. I admit I did it. I disrespected my father. I did it. I put myself up as a respecter of person by my activity.
You claim you forgave yourself, right? Right, Vic? You claim you forgave yourself, right?
Well, let me put it this way. I don't blame people for what I did.
Thank you.
What's the point of that?
I'll take that as a no.
Take it any way you wish.
Well, thank you. You're welcome.
So anyhow, we got a couple good possibilities here, and I guess maybe if put them into action. You guys seem already putting them into action, so you've proven that possibility. I'm just going down another road. Possibility.
Hope you find what you're looking for.
Thank you.
But then again, be careful what you wish for. A little bit of
Likewise.
Yeah, thank you. I agree. Good points to stay on, if you ask me.
Yeah, man.
What's going on?
What up, Northerner? We got Batman, we got Vic Beck, we got Hans, we got Boda.
Excuse me, it's not Vic Beck.
No?
How about just Vic?
His brother Vic.
Okay. Well, this is a first for me.
Larry, you got a hearing problem? He said, how about just Vic?
Okay, we got just Vic.
That's better.
Pleased to meet you, Just Vic.
You're welcome. And you. I'll look up the word just. Well, part of an act.
So what's going on, everybody? It seems we've got a house full here.
To claim or not to claim?
That is the question.
Beat me to it.
Yeah, I've just been watching a new movie called Stoker.
Uh-oh.
Seems pretty interesting.
That just out?
Yeah, it's a new one. Yeah. I just thought I was midway through it, and I just thought I'd crank up the old Skype there and just see what's going off, and here we are, man.
It's another something somebody said recently that in Canada here, anyhow, it's on the it was on the $50 bills, the legal tender, that women are persons. And that came about in the 1920s. And previous to that, women were not persons. In other words, women could not be found with a gun on their person, but men could. Think about that.
Wait a minute, what happened now? The $50 bill said that women are persons?
That's right. So, which is an oxymoron, because if women are persons, then there's no women. There's just persons, right? If there's only persons, then why do they need to define the term person?
Well, could it be
It's monopoly money, bro.
Well, could it be the men that wrote up them laws believed they owned them women, therefore by calling them persons?
Actually, it was women that fought for the right to be recognized as persons.
Yeah, because women's suffrage. I was going to mention that. The same thing happened down here in the so-called states, so I'm told.
Yeah,
they didn't know how good they had it.
That's my point. So they should have stayed women.
They wanted to claim rights.
That's right. That's it. Legal rights. Legal rights apply to persons.
Could it be all rights apply to persons? Could it be rules apply to men and women? One rule, the golden rule.
Love thy brother as thyself.
Yeah, honor and love one another.
Yep. Do what you do for the better of mankind, first and foremost. Everybody else, in other words.
Yeah, if everybody's happy, that means I can go fishing. Yeah.
Fish won't be happy.
Well, if they talk, I'd ask them what they want. Usually they love biting on that hook, though. It's called mellowed out. Turned out to be pretty good after all, huh? Gotta have some fun in the beginning. Get it out of the system, you know? That's just a perception. What can I tell you?
You were the screwy rabbit in school, huh?
Why do you think? As far as I know, I was the only one the classmates tied to the monkey bars. Yeah.
I always had this big girl named Barbara coming around and grabbing me from the back and picking me up and carrying me around. She's about a foot taller.
She must have loved you.
Well, not really. I didn't want to be there. Never forget
that. Went into the factory the other week and happened to bump into someone who claimed to be a magistrate. And so I started asking a few questions, and asked him, is it possible that which you're involved with is all built on claims? And if I recall correctly, the dude's response was, seems like an interesting idea.
How's it working for you? Yeah.
That's the key.
I believe that when he goes back into the courtroom, he may be looking at things in a different way.
Maybe you already know it. You're just covering the bases, you know.
Well, the thought did cross the mind, but the thought did cross the mind. It's just the way he was responding, and that led me to believe that he believes that there's the law. But I don't know.
The law only applies. Yes, the law only applies to those before the court making claims. Other than that, how does they get jurisdiction?
Yeah, I mean, just actually thinking about it now. he did say at one point he has no knowledge of the law. That was it. Yeah. So he may be aware. I don't know, who can say. It was interesting, though, just to bump into a magistrate in a factory out of thousands of people, you know.
Well, could it be the magistrates and judges that are like kind of the old school masters from the so-called New Testament? It's their job to lie to you to see if you learned anything.
Well, yeah, there was a third individual, and you may well have been covering bases, you know.
Well, the thing of it is, the laws, or the rules, I should say, are allegedly written on the heart. So
That's it. They're not a part of any act.
Yeah.
Of man.
And if we act accordingly towards the judges, the magistrates, police officers, and treat them as brothers and sisters coming from the heart, could that be all it takes to go around?
I like that word. That act. It's like part of being an actor, like pretending.
Oh yeah, what I wanted to say about that landlord-tenant case, the whole point I forgot there was that after the lawyer says you don't have jurisdiction over the man, this name on your court papers is derived from this document pointing to the statement of birth the parent signed, blah, blah, blah. Here's what the judge says. Well, if that's the case, this is a mockery. What is a mockery? A counterfeit appearance.
Well, the thing of it is...
In other words, we're appearing as not what who and what we really are.
Well, the thing of it is, though, could it be the one who brought the claim before the court, which is usually the prosecuting attorney, failed to do due diligence and understand what he was dealing with or who he was dealing with?
Well, like I say, this is a landlord-tenant case, which is a lease contract.
Yeah, true. Okay.
So there was no prosecutor. It's just, the lawyer for the landlord appeared, and this man came in on his own, signed in as the alleged tenant. But it's what the judge says. If that's in other words, he was talking to the lawyer that appeared there. If what you're telling is true, then this whole thing is a mockery. I'll look up the word mockery. It includes counterfeit appearance.
Yeah,
So when
yeah, I got you. Interesting. The thing of it is, who's going to take credit for making a counterfeit appearance? It's just an opinion, see.
Well, but to me that meant, in other words, it's like when men and women appear as a tenant, that's not really true. Men and women are men and women, right? How can men and women be a tenant? How can men and women be a driver? Except that they've that's the count. We're all, by us doing those things and come for the people that come in those things, like other people were. Nobody else caught what happened in that court. Everybody else was coming in as a tenant and arguing and this and that and the other thing. That's why they're there.
Well, the thing of it is, they claim to be a tenant, so the judge is going on the preponderance of the evidence.
That's my point.
Yeah. Oh.
That's exactly my point. Whereas Johnny didn't do that. He came in as the alleged tenant. They're the ones alleging I'm the tenant.
Well, yeah, the thing of it is, and who created the mockery? Could it be the landlord that bought in the claim?
Well, well, fair enough.
Something to consider, yeah.
Yep. Different interpretations, I suppose.
I try to look at all angles. When a thought occurs, I usually spit out a question or something,
Watched that movie last night, World War Z. And there was one point in there was only one so-called country that was prepared for this so-called virus or whatever it was. But only one guy within the country did it. So this one fellow was investigating where the so-called virus came from, whatever, and he asked the guy, why is it here you guys did something about it? And he said, here in Israel it was Israel, allegedly, here we have this thing, it's called the 10th man. So if 9 guys agree on something, it's the 10th man's job to disagree and prepare for the opposite. Well, where's the 10th man out here? Do we ask the question, or do we just believe what we're told?
Well, thanks to the public education, most will believe what they're told, and obviously the people on this call are not buying into that anymore. No, it's not just the way it is.
The 10th what? What do they call it? The 10th person?
The 10th man, I think.
10th,
I believe, I recall.
Part of the code, huh? Yo, Vic, you know what it means to when somebody says nanu nanu?
No, I don't actually. Never looked it up.
No, I think it refers to like a TV show or something.
Larry.
Some alien.
Yeah, Three's Company.
I'm not making fun of them. I was just a straight up question. Because I didn't know. I really didn't know what it was until I heard somebody said it to me.
Three's Company, Robin Williams.
Yeah, what's it called?
Three's Company.
Mork and Mindy.
Oh, that's it. That's right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's
What
like
does it mean?
talking in. It's funny coming from like an alien point of view and how, you know, the different jurisdictions, if you will, and different languages and communication.
Perceptions.
That's quite possibly why they don't charge children with crimes, because their minds haven't been developed yet. They don't even know what that is. Couldn't have a conversation with the kid. You're going, huh? Nanu, nanu.
Well, the thing of it is asking questions. Come as a little child. How can one get jurisdiction over somebody unless they're claiming stuff? See?
Well, there's this thing that says, in the U.S., animals that are not persons under U.S. law cannot commit crimes. I know it might seem harsh, but animals that are not persons. So only persons can be recognized for a wink wink crime.
Nanu, nanu.
One thing came to mind the other week is careful what one believes in. One may be subjected to the small print.
Yeah, you making a claim there, Northerner? And you sticking with it?
Well, if you believe that, there may be some small print attached to it.
Playing hot potato with me here, buddy?
You got it.
So what's up, Hans? You there? What are you guys up to? Lady? Hey, what up, Hans?
I'm totally involved in the conversation here.
Yeah, go ahead, ask some questions or something. You got any talk, brother?
Got too many questions, probably. I'm a little bit overloaded here.
When you run out of questions, you ask me, that's when you're in trouble.
No,
It's not all the time that we all come together like this, so take advantage if there is such a thing.
what with the birth certificate? Is that a way to get out of the system, basically?
Well, what's there to get out of? But then again...
Well, what being part of the stage or part of the... I don't really know how to word it. I mean, I hate to use the wrong words because it all goes back to language, you know.
Well, could it be we're all... Excuse me. Could it be we're all part of it, whether we like it or not? There's those that believe in owning stuff. There's those who believe in using it. There's those who believe birth certificate is identification. There's those who believe that the birth certificate is actually a gift certificate or a... I mean, the thing of it is, we're all part of it. The thing of it is, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah, how we get out. Exactly, that's pretty much my question. How you get out of this whole mess.
Well, you ever think of suicide?
Well,
Yo, Hans, do you see it as like membership in different organizations or something like that, or different societies or different? And then the whole idea of what's that, Northerner?
You believe that there's something to be getting out of, then maybe it's time for a reflection or two.
Yeah, could that be the problem? Or could it be you're missing out on all the fun, enjoying the moment?
Yeah, man. There's plenty of smiles to be had. Why frown?
Hey, if the birth certificate is a ticket, are employees allowed to play?
Well, I guess it only believes if you believe you're an employee.
Maybe it should be called a ticket.
Ticket to ride?
Could be. A meal ticket. Yeah. Thing of it is, are we claiming it or are we using it? I don't know. That just keeps popping up. I think that's the difference. The intent.
There's another thing, too, for consideration, and that is when somebody's in possession of something that doesn't belong to him, he's borrowing.
Yeah, and then I'd like to ask, well, what evidence do you have anybody owns anything? Where was they when I started using it?
No, I didn't. If somebody has possession of something that doesn't belong to him, he's borrowing, and it's specifically stated in the Bible. And again, it's don't be a borrower.
Well, the thing of it is, could it be you're only a borrower if you believe you are?
Could it be sure, but could it be you're a borrower if you have something that doesn't belong to you? Either that or you stole it.
Well, what evidence do you have it's stolen? It was just there, and I picked it up and started using it.
No, I said, is it possible that when somebody has something that doesn't belong to him, think about this, that doesn't belong to him, either he's borrowed it or he stole it. I didn't say that's the evidence, just is it possible?
Well, the evidence is him. If he thinks he borrowed it, well, then maybe he stole it. But that's what he believes. But unless one claims otherwise, I usually like to ask, where was you when I started using it? Other than whether I took it from somebody's possession or not. I mean, if I took it from somebody's possession by force, well, that could be stealing it or robbing them.
Oh,
but
let me put it...
Well, no, just listen. The point of it is what one believes.
Let me rephrase the question then. If, in fact, the government retains legal title in the birth certificate, in other words, title does not pass to the recipient of it, is it possible then that one is borrowing something that doesn't belong to him?
Well, have you ever met anybody?
No, don't answer a question with a question. Is it possible?
Well,
yes or no?
I'm trying to answer the question for you, but I'm just asking, has anybody ever met anybody that claimed to be the government?
Let me rephrase the question. Representatives of government.
Okay, that's fine.
Men and women who claim to work for the government, so obviously I would say that suggests that they believe in the government, that they work for the government, the crown. Specifically here, they all put it on their own paperwork. We represent the crown.
We got the point, I believe. The thing of it is, the thing I got a question is, well, when can I meet the one that claims it's theirs? When can I get the first-hand testimony? And if it's theirs, I'd be glad to work it out, give them, or if I can do something to help them, make it right. I mean, until then, I mean, what's the issue?
If you got 5,000 people that work for the crown that believe the birth certificate is property belonging to the crown, is it possible then that whoever has the property belonging to the crown is borrowing it or stole it?
Well, until you meet the one that claims to be the crown, how is it borrowed or stolen?
Like you said, there's a lot of people out there that claim to represent the crown. In their minds, they do. In their minds, they do. In their minds, they're going to say this is property belonging to the crown. In their minds, I'm not saying I'm buying into it. I'm just saying that that's what they're going to say. That's their belief system.
I'm fine with that, and I'd be asking them, well, why do you believe such a thing? When's the last time you talked with the crown? I mean, all I'm asking is, if somebody's going to accuse me of something, would it make sense for me to meet the one accusing me?
That wasn't my question, but anyhow.
Well, think of...
If we all came over to your house, Batman, right now, assuming you have a house, blah blah blah, and some possessions, we all walked out of your house with the stuff. What would you do?
What do you mean? What would I do?
You started crying.
That's a
Bitching.
If we took everything that's in your house, and all of us came over to your house right now and took everything out of your house other than you and the house itself, we took the curtains, the TV, the furniture, whatever's in there, I don't know, but we took everything. What would you do? What would you do?
The point of the matter is, what evidence do you have I own anything?
It's just work. I didn't say you owned it. I said we took everything out of the house.
Yeah, what would you do?
Well,
like what did you do when I grabbed that Colt 45 off the shelf and started walking out?
You didn't. You never got that close.
Yeah.
I didn't. Just answer the. I didn't say you owned it. I said we all come to your house and we take everything, everything that's the contents of that house, everything that's not fixed to the ground, other than you and the house itself. We all walked away with everything. Took your possessions and walked out that door and never came back. Walked out the door? What would you do?
You become Christ again.
Now listen.
Yeah.
What
Enjoy it.
The thing of it is, I'd ask you, is that the way you want to be treated?
And we just keep walking. What would you do?
What do you mean? We're just gonna take the necessities that we need. We'll leave you with what you might need.
No. I said No. I said we take everything out of that house.
Everything. Yeah.
And I told you what I would do. Is this what you want to be? What you like to be treated? Fine. The thing of it is, what you do comes back to you tenfold.
So you would just say that and nothing else.
What would I have to do?
I didn't say you had to do anything. I just asked what would you do.
Why would anyone have to do anything when everything is received? When everything is received with interest.
I didn't say he did. I said, what would you do? I asked the question, what would you do? He could say nothing. He could say, I'd do this, I'd do that. No, I just asked this question.
Well, I believe he's told you he'd do nothing.
I told you I'd ask you the question, is this the way you treat your brothers?
Now,
because the thing of it is...
Something else, depending on...
Wait a minute, let me finish. The thing of it is, everything here, I can go get. It's all there for us to use. It'll come back tenfold. I ain't worried about it.
So why would you say, hang on, let's just work with the concept here. I'm trying to make a point here. I'm not trying to trick or trap anybody here. That's not what this is about. So you say that, and none of us responds, none of us answers your question, and we keep on walking. Would you, you would say nothing else?
Oh, just watch out for the landmines.
And we took the dog.
Yeah. What if we took Gonzo with us?
Gizmo.
If he wanted to go, I guess. Well, who am I to stop him?
What if we took your lady too?
Like I said, she wanted to go. Who am I to stop her?
Vic, do you believe in cause and effect?
Absolutely.
Hell no.
Well, if you do believe in that, why ask the question?
I was asking him what he would do.
Well, Batman, that's why I love you, man, because you just stay on point every time. I love you, brother.
The thing of it is, everybody's honorable, and you get what you put out. The chances of that happening are slim to none, to me, if you ask. I've been watching. Go ahead.
Sorry, I get that, but most people would call the police. Most people would say you're stealing my stuff.
Well, why are you worried about most people?
I'm not. I was asking him the question. I was just trying to make a point here.
Well, you already knew what you were going to answer.
How does that work for you?
Vic, if I came to your so-called house, if you will, and, for instance, I saw there was 2 cars in the driveway, and I asked you, Vic, do you use both those cars? And you said, no, just one. and I asked you, well, could I use the other one? What would your answer be?
Help yourself.
Huh?
Take them both. I don't care. I don't own them, right?
Then the next question is, what's your address?
It's not my address. I don't have an address.
What's the address you use? Yeah.
Where's the
I don't use it either.
Where's the location? Where's the location, so-called location that's commonly described where you're at?
It's right here.
Tell them here. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, right here. Right here.
Heck, I'll fly over.
Come and get it, people. It's right here.
Man, we're all claimants, man, one way or the other.
Yeah, just different degrees.
It's part of growing up. I say the more we can learn to ask and try to understand what others are thinking and stop thinking we own stuff, the more at peace you're going to find you're at, you know.
Oh, no doubt about that. That's why I say take it. If I owned it, then I'd have a problem with it, right, in my mind.
Well, know what I got a problem with? There's already too many cars in the lot, and if somebody takes one, and then chances are it'll be tenfold, and now I'll have 10 more cars I won't know what to do with. It was.
That's it.
How often you all get together like this? I mean, this is the first time in this group, basically. And there's some very...
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, it's some very interesting views, and yeah, definitely agree with a lot of things. And I'm here to learn.
What kind of motorcycle is that, Hans?
It's a Honda Goldwing.
I was going to say it looks like a Goldwing.
Yeah, it's a 96. It's not new.
Looks like fun from here.
Yes.
This says kept well.
You using it, or is it parked on the side?
I use it. It's just mostly garage kept. I don't take it out in bad weather. It's just I'll ride it when I feel like it.
Hey, Hans, answer to the question. I believe this is the first time this group has been together like this.
Excellent. And thank you for inviting me.
Well, it was. You can blame that on Larry. He was clicking away, man.
Me too. Thank you.
Being the post monster that he is, I believe.
Oh, you guys really know how to shift liability.
You're easy to blame, Larry.
And thank yourselves.
Is that a claim, Larry?
Is it? You tell me, boss.
Looks like Larry's found new government in another.
Oh, you the boss, Northerner?
I was waiting for that.
Oh, man. Hey, and when there was that visit going on, but I fell asleep on the call, yeah?
That boring. Been on the beginning of this call.
I think what I saw was a 4.5 hour call, and I wasn't awake for most of it.
Assuming Batman has guns, if we're in his house having that conversation, half of us would be dead at the beginning of the conversation.
Hey, what's dead?
Kidding. There's only life. Injured.
There's different ways of getting people's attention. What can I tell you? Thoughts occur.
Vic, that's called lead poisoning.
There you go.
You know what they call poison in German? Hans maybe knows.
Got me off guard here.
Gift?
Yep.
Gift, yeah.
Interesting. You know what they call seal in French?
Yeah.
Wait, what's the word? What's the word, bro?
Seal.
Seal.
Work.
It's fuck. And you guys members of the Navy fucks?
No kidding. Navy SEALs. Seal, like a seal on a document or anything like that. They call it a fuck. Hey, can you certify this with a fuck, please?
Yeah.
Can you put your twat stamp on this, please?
Well, actually, I don't give a fuck, so how could I?
Well, the funniest thing that gets me when I go to Quebec, the girls there, or all the people actually, they have a hard time saying focus. They say fuck us. I'll tell you, it's hilarious when you're in a room with a girl who's talking about fuck us.
Fuck! Do you take them up for their offer?
Yeah, did you ask her if
I just laugh.
Accept that offer.
you gotta ask her, is that an offer?
I just laugh. It's just funny to hear.
It comes down to what words mean to each individual.
It sounds like she's got sisters. Fuck us.
Fuck us.
There's more of it. Yeah, what's that?
You don't say that in Ontario.
Oh man, I love it. Yeah, Larry, you remember we were talking a while back about unity?
Yeah.
This is it, man.
Yep. The ebb and flow of the world just makes things happen.
What was that? It was breaking up.
The ebb and flow of the world just makes things happen, bro. I don't know. Just happens. Shit ain't rehearsed. You know. A long time ago, a northerner brought up this idea, like, you know, just where everyone can get on and talk and not have to put up with any shit from anybody.
Well, there's always each other, huh?
I think he was talking about you predominantly, Batman.
It's just nice. It's just nice to hear people coming on the same kind of frequency and all singing from the same kind of hymn sheet and shit. It's just good to hear all across the world, as far as I can tell, looking at the thing here. That's good.
I like the so-called English speaking.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yo, Harks. What's up, bro? We got Brother Vic, or Just Vic, and we got Batman, and we got the rest of the crew. Yo, what's the word on the DBA, Jazz? How's all that working out, bro?
I don't know, man.
Okay, still at the regular spot where it was, whatever?
Yeah, basically.
Cool. Cool, bro.
Say so.
Where you at, Hans?
I'm in Kentucky.
Right.
From Deutschland?
No, I was born in Germany, but I moved here 28 years ago.
We got a Nazi on the horn. Oh my God.
My mother's from Germany.
Guten Tag, you guys.
Guten Tag.
Dankeschön.
Bitteschön.
Yeah. My mother's from Germany.
Is she?
She was running from the bombs.
Yo,
My earthly mother.
Yo, is there any validity to Hitler going to Antarctica? Argentina and Antarctica.
Why the fuck would he know?
I don't know. They're German. Maybe one dude's born in Germany. I don't know. Maybe they have some for real information from the locals. Locals no different.
No, I don't.
Mom doesn't like to talk about it, but she was very young at that time.
Yeah.
We got her recollection is going in the tunnels when the bombing raids were coming, the bunkers.
What part of Germany was she from?
East Berlin.
East Berlin, okay, yeah. That was bombed pretty heavily during World War II.
Yep. Yeah, so I grew up in a house where was ever on the plate to eat for dinner, that's what you got. Because that's what they got, whatever you could scrounge out of the streets. It's funny, I still have a cousin, Regina, lives there, and she's married to the police commissioner. Should move to Germany.
I don't know if you would like Germany. It has changed so much. And it's all about control.
Yeah, but like somebody said before, it's all around the world now.
How's Angela Merkel working out for you?
I don't know who that is.
But the thing about you say it's all about control. Could the control come from within and just stay on our point and honor and love and ask the right questions?
Well, you guys hear about the thing, if you don't govern yourself, somebody else will govern you or some shit?
Mm-hmm.
All power comes from within.
Yep.
Well, if you believe in cause and effect, could that be the effect and there's got to have been a cause?
Could be.
And if that's a law of the universe, who can judge such a thing?
How you gonna know until you try it, huh?
People are complaining about so-called governments and the people that inhabit such groups. Would there be an effect?
Yeah. I'd say people usually get what they ask for.
Yeah, man.
You're gonna sit around bitching, chances are you're gonna get a lot of bitching.
More cause and effect. Hans.
Yes.
I came into contact with these folks over a few years, and I was doing one thing back then, so-called work-wise, and then I stopped doing the work for a few years, and then later on, I decided to ring a man on just to see what he was doing. A man I used to do a few things for, and I said to him, so what's going on? And he says, oh well, I can't believe you just called me. He said, there's this thing going on down south in this island called Britain, people call it that, and he said there's a man who's got to go away from this position in this company because he's got some stuff to see to. And then I've got a man over in the north of the island who wants to come down to where he is, and now there's a position up in the north of Ireland which is empty. And now you've just called, and I'm wondering if you can fill it. I says, well, turns out that I'm available, and if they need help, I'm willing to help them. So he says, okay, cool, leave it with me and I'll sort it all out. A couple of days later, he rings back and he says, yeah, it's all sorted out. Can you go up there and just have a visit and whatnot? I says, yeah, I can do that. And then I go and visit the people there in the factory and everything's pretty cool. And then he comes back to me, the dude, he says, well, I'll give you a few shekels for going up there and helping me out. I says, yeah, that's cool. He says, how does this sound? And I says, yeah, that sounds alright to me. And I goes up there and starts living out in the countryside with a tent and whatnot. And they give me a few shekels, and I'm doing it on a daily basis like a holiday. Could that be like a different perspective on things?
You shut.
Oh. Well, it's depending. I guess it's what you want out of life. I mean, if you're happy for doing what you, I don't know. I mean, I don't have the answer. I'm listening here. I'm learning because I think what we've been taught. I'm getting off your question, of course. Here. It's not the way of life.
There you go. I don't
Well,
think we do.
Yeah, well, I mean, if there's a need, if one can fulfill a need, could that be life?
Not necessarily. We all have to have means of surviving. But
well, what you call a means of survival, could fulfilling another's needs be a means of survival?
Yeah, because helping those around you, if they got more, could it be there's more for you to use?
Yeah, man.
But it goes to sharing.
Well, it turns out that there was somebody who had a need, and it went all the way from the bottom of the island all the way to the top of this island, and then some dude calls up and goes, well, I can fulfill that need, and then the dude on the other end says, yeah, well, if you can fulfill that need, I'll give you a few shekels. How do you feel about that? I says, yeah, okay. Is that a different perspective on it?
Yo, we have our brother Harvey. He's putting out ads. I'll walk a dog if you want. And he's going to do it. And if they want to give him something, great. He's walking the dogs anyway.
Wonder where he got that idea.
Hey, if they don't give him something, he sells the dog to the highest bidder.
What are you looking for? Credit?
The Chinese takeaway.
You hustlers.
I couldn't resist. Thoughts occur. What can I tell you?
Yo, Vic, I noticed earlier your mic is light. Maybe wiggle it a little bit.
Oh,
and your shit. What's that?
I just have to turn up the. That's louder now, right?
Hello?
Yeah. That should be louder now.
Yeah. And you, Northerner, you got reverb like a mug. When
no, I keep turning it off so that I don't reverb too much.
Yep, good looking, brother.
Well, but I kind of get where you're coming from, with like the charity purposes, yeah, and I believe that there's more than enough for everybody on this rock, man. So if everybody was at that same intent of charity and doing for others, then fuck, what more could you ask for?
Well, you could call it charity, and I didn't see it as charity. I just ran out the dude, and he had a need, and I was prepared to do it. And then he says, well, if you're going to do that, I'll give you some shekels. And I went, cool. There was nothing else. That's it.
You didn't ask him. You just said, yeah, I'd do it. You didn't even say he had to pay you. He volunteered.
No. Exactly, B. Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. That's perceived upon as a charitable action. Yeah.
Oh, it's a contract.
Contracts, man.
Wait a minute.
Allow me to qualify that. There was a situation here in Canada where some friends got together to help another friend reshingle his roof. One of the guys fell off the roof and died. The labor board came in and says, were you guys doing anything here for consideration? And they said, yeah, for beer. The labor board says that's a contract, and that's why they got, and then the shit hit the fan. Whereas if the friends had said, we just helping a friend out for love, that's a different story. And if they got beer at the end of the day, but if they agreed to they were doing it for the beer, and that's what they all said, we're doing it for the beer, is a consideration as a contract. But if they did it
sounds like one's thinking about it too much to me.
If they did it for the love and they got beer given to them as a result of that without that negotiation,
yeah, man.
Wait a minute, Vic, you got to back up here. You don't got to, but just consider this. When they come up and said, what was this guy doing the roof for? I guess only he knows. Why don't you ask him?
Well, that's true, but that's not what they said.
Yeah, but what's the intent of it, huh?
Wait a minute, back up. Who cares what everybody else said? The thing of it is, the one that had give testimony whether they was doing it for beer or out of love was the one that was dead.
Yep.
But the guy who they were doing it for wasn't dead, and that's the beer guy. So he's the guy that got. They didn't go after the dead guy; they went after the living guy. No, I'm just making a simple,
Right. I understand.
really neither here nor there.
Well, what's here and there about it is he failed to ask the right question.
To the right person. To the right guy.
I mean, who cares what them guys think they was doing it for? It's the dead guy that's only going to give testimony.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I have thought about it. For example, if this job offer, this is not really debate, but if with this job offer, there's no mention, we'll give you a few shekels for it. Would you have taken the job?
Of course. Well, that's up to the individual, man. I mean, it's the intent of the individual what counts there. The intention in that individual is whatever one perceives it to be, because that's only an opinion. Only an individual knows what he really meant by it. And if he explained that to you, then fair. But if you're making an observation based on your experience, then it's not necessarily the truth of the matter, is it?
True enough.
Yeah, the point of the matter is, this guy says, hey, would you come down here and help me? And he said, yeah. And the guy says, well, I'll throw you some shekels. Well, whatever, if that makes you happy. Think of it is, did he ever claim he was doing it for the shekels?
Exactly, man.
Suppose not.
Something to consider,
Yep.
Are you getting this, Hans?
Pardon me?
I asked, are you getting this, Hans?
Oh yeah. It's slowly sinking in.
Well, I need to make a beer run. If you guys are still here, I'll be glad to join back in if possible.
Yeah, I got to get some dinner, so I'm going to check out. If you're still here, I'll be back in.
All right. It's been fun, brother. If we don't hook up again tonight, hopefully we can do this again sometime.
Yeah, and it's been once things mellowed out, it's been a lot of fun.
Could it be we was getting back what we was putting out?
The universe, reaction first.
Yeah, believe in cause and effect, man. I do.
I love you, man. Later.
Likewise.
Later, man.
If you guys are here, we'll be back.
Easy, you guys.